Hi. I've always been someone who has had a strong sense of right and wrong, and it doesn't make sense to me why. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, I'm not in any position of power to control people's lives, but I've always had a strong sense of right and wrong. So when something has been really effed up, I've always felt empowered to speak. But sometimes there are situations where I'm thinking, maybe I'll just keep this one in the vault. There's one situation I'm thinking about a few years ago. I had befriended this girl who was a social media personality, influencer. And she was someone who also had a disability. So she got a lot of attention. She's very beautiful, so it made sense. And even wherever we went, she got a lot of attention. She got brand deals, what have you. She did really well for herself. She ended up working at an organization. And at the time, I was looking for a job. She ended up trying to put me on to a job in the same department, working under a guy who didn't necessarily have the best reputation with women. He was known to be someone who was really inappropriate with women and would use his power to kind of control and manipulate and do whatever he wanted. So that was just an open secret relative to this person. Anyway, I had an interview with this person, which went just okay. After this interview, I saw my friend and we were talking. And without going into too much detail, this guy had ended up making some kind of sexual innuendo. He ended up saying something I really didn't like that just hit me as gross. I have worked with so many different jobs in so many different places throughout my life. And I have never in my life had anybody say anything remotely inappropriate to me. It is just, wow. So the fact that this person felt empowered to make a comment like that was just baffling. And at the time, it was strange. It just hit me as strange. I didn't know what to do. So I didn't say anything at the time. But then afterwards, I was really uncomfortable. I was like, this is a really fucked up thing. Like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? So anyway, I ended up reporting it to their HR department, who got back to me a day or two later and said that it reassured me that they're taking note of it. Anyway, he had some kind of reprimand, but he still works there. He still works there to this day. This guy put two and two together and ended up finding out that I was the person that reported his comment. So I guess because me and this young lady were friends, me and this girl were friends, he had taken it upon himself to retaliate on this girl, just to retaliate. So I remember her calling me and telling me that he was like acting weird, that he was doing little things. I told her that I reported him. I don't know what steps she took to be able to talk to someone in HR or do whatever. And she ended up taking hits from him. I don't know what she again did to protect herself, but I don't think it was much because she ended up losing her job due to whatever in her performance. I guess the guy was able to get her in trouble. Since then, she had bounced back to another job, but in the meantime, she seemed to be upset with me. She would ignore my calls. Every time I tried to call her and she did pick up, she seemed to have an attitude like she really didn't want to talk to me. And I don't bring up this story to say that I miss her, but I do think sometimes about having a strong sense of right and wrong and speaking up, and when it's okay to just not speak up, not say anything, and just dip. Sometimes it's easier to just be like, you know what, that shit isn't for me, and keep it moving. So maybe after this interview, after he said what he said, I should have just kept it moving. I did end up getting another job, so it wouldn't necessarily be to upset the social order that other people have going on, but sometimes it's just about shifting what you're doing and saying, you know what, this shit is not for me, and I'm not interested. Anyway, new beginnings. Thanks for listening.